Hello and welcome to Passions, Purpose, and Possibilities, Awakening Your 5D Mission with Lucia Moore. Welcome and thank you so much for being here. This isn't going to be your usual podcast in a sense, because first of all, I'll be speaking specifically to starseeds, lightworkers, indigos, earth angels, and the like. People who are currently on an ascension path to a higher, more enlightened version of themselves and the earth we're serving. I'm hoping to be able to help you anchor in more of who you truly are and inspire you to be what I call fiercely authentic. Because I know it's you being truly you that is going to make a difference in this world. And if you find that what I have to say doesn't really resonate with you, no problem. I understand there are approximately 6 million other podcasts out there that might be a better choice. We're all on our individual paths and only we know what works best for us. The other reason this isn't going to be your everyday podcast is because I'll be presenting some ideas and exercises that will hopefully help you understand yourself better. We're going to be exploring your life's advancing mission via your passions and purpose while you're here on this earth. In a way, this podcast is going to loosely resemble a course that I taught last year. I was going to carry on with that class, but in the end, I decided I might be able to reach more people if I put it into a podcast format. So many of us have begun to recognize that we're here on this beautiful but crazy planet Earth for a reason. We just don't know what that reason is. But I'm going to tell you a little secret. I already know what your main mission is this time around. Care to make a guess? It is to be fiercely and utterly authentic. It is to be absolutely who you are. You're also here to help lift up the planet in some way, to spread the light that's in you. But how you choose to do that is up to you, and it's based on what excites you and what makes you, well, you. You're already perfect. There's no one else like you, and you're here for a reason. You've just had a lot of that beaten out of you. It wasn't necessarily a bad thing. It was really just part of the game we're all playing, and boy, oh boy, are we good at playing this game. Congratulations, us. So, in this Passions, Purpose, and Possibilities podcast, we want to delve into the profound and often misunderstood journey of awakening to our 5D consciousness. Whether you identify as a starseed, a lightworker, or just simply someone who's experiencing a shift in perception and awareness, I want to let you know that you are not alone in this journey. I understand that many of you are feeling a deep inner knowing that there's something more you're meant to do, a mission that resonates with your soul and the higher frequencies of love and light. But it's not always clear what that mission is, and that uncertainty can feel overwhelming at times. So as we navigate this incredible shift together, I'm here to remind you that your feelings, your experiences, and your struggles are valid. Awakening to a higher consciousness isn't always an easy path. It can be filled with confusion and loneliness and a sense of being out of place. But remember, these feelings are a sign of your evolving spirit and evidence of the light you carry inside of you. Your journey is unique, and your role in this ascension process is, frankly, indispensable. We each hold a piece of the puzzle, a special gift that contributes to the collective awakening. Your mission, your purpose, is waiting to be discovered. So in this space, I'd like to bring us together to share and to learn and to support one another. I'm simply here to guide you, to help you uncover the deep truths and the mission that your soul is yearning to express. We're going to explore your own uniqueness quite a bit and see who you came into this world to be. We'll talk about what makes you tick, what excites you, what your talents and desires are. And we're also going to spend a lot of time talking about what this new paradigm is, what it's all about, and how to navigate it. The world has changed so much, even in just the last few years, and what used to work is no longer what we're going to need to be doing in the future. We'll be touching on meditation and energy work and other tools that will help you connect with your higher self. And we'll try to dive into some specific work that other starseeds and lightworkers are doing around the world, so it might inspire you to see your own possibilities. Awakening to your 5D mission is a journey of self-discovery. It's about finding your truth and living it authentically. You're a beacon of light to this world, and your presence is a powerful force for positive change. So let's take this journey together with open hearts and open minds as we explore the depths of our souls. You're not alone on this path. We're all connected, all part of this beautiful tapestry of light. I myself have been on a journey to find and live my mission in life, and it's been quite the ride. There have been many chapters in my life, and thank goodness for that. I would have been bored a long time ago. But I knew quite a while ago that there would be a more spiritual chapter in my later life, one of nurturing and reminding and helping people to awaken and uncover their own possibilities in life. That's because I've also been the one needing that nurturing and reminding. In some ways, this podcast is my current mission in life. I feel I've been guided to this time and place, and I imagine it's the same for you. One of my favorite words over the past few decades has been the word possibilities. Even when I wasn't sure what my path was going to be, I knew there were always a million possibilities in front of me. This is a world made of possibilities. I'm sure you've noticed that the world has a gigazillion choices in it. There's every good thing and there's every bad thing right here on Earth. And when you think about it, it's actually kind of a playground of duality, a place where everything is possible. But here's the thing that most people don't realize. You get to choose what and where and how you play in it, simply by heading towards the things that intrigue you. It's kind of like steering a great big boat in the direction of where you want to go. It may not happen instantly, but eventually you turn around and head in the direction you want to go in. I know this might sound silly and trite, but you see what you look at. Yeah, that's what I said. You see in life what you look at. Sounds a little obvious and dumb, but actually you can only see what you look at. Does that make sense? So why aren't you concerned about that little boy in Zimbabwe who's suffering? I know you can say it's because you didn't know anything about him. You didn't see him. But you do know about things going on in your own city, right? Things that don't really concern you. Well, they do concern someone. Why aren't you worrying more about them? It's because you aren't focused on those things. You're focused on other things. The things that someone else is focusing on is probably just in your peripheral vision, just on the side. It's not your main focus, right? Okay, when I was in my late 20s, I was introduced to a 94-year-old woman in my neighborhood, which of course seemed really ancient to me at the time, but she was really sharp. She was still taking 20-minute walks every day. She was a really nice woman, and I was really grateful to know her. I'd only been out of college for a few years, and as an international relations major, I had always been really interested in understanding how people could be so cruel to one another, especially during World War I and World War II. So I was really fascinated that this lady had lived through some terrible times, especially World War II, and I wanted to know what it was like living through that time. Well, her answer surprised me. She hadn't really thought about it. I was like, what? Of course, she knew there was a war going on. There were shortages. There were people in her life involved in it. But it wasn't really a big thing in her life. She was focused on going to dances and having fun. Well, I was shocked. I thought everyone alive would have been wallowed up in what was going on, but she wasn't. She was just living her life and focusing on what interested her. I didn't completely realize at that time that you could just opt out of certain things about life. Well, the truth is, you get to decide what you see in your life, and you have a lot more control over that than you think. Every tilt of your head puts you in a position to see something different. A butterfly, a crack in the ceiling, someone you love, or a war. How you choose to look at things has everything to do with how your life turns out. Now, I know you're here to find out your soul's longing. You feel you should be heading somewhere and you just aren't sure where it is. First, let me tell you, there is a time to wake up to your mission, and there's a possibility that it's not time yet. But just by asking, just by being here, there's a good chance that you are meant to know something about your mission right now. I know I touched on it earlier, but I can tell you that as a light worker, as an awakening soul, I already know that you have one main mission to accomplish, and that is to shine a light on the world around you. You might already feel that in your soul, but the problem most of us are having is, how am I supposed to be doing that? What am I supposed to be doing exactly? What are the specifics? The most shocking, but also the coolest thing I've realized is, it doesn't really matter. That part's up to you. That's why you're an individual. You get to decide how you want to interface with the world. But what you choose has to match your soul's leaning. It has to be something that you're going to enjoy. And that's what we're here over time to discover in this podcast. You know, in the past, in the old paradigm, we needed to first decide what it was we wanted it to be, and then create steps, and then move through each one of them to reach our goal. Do you remember this? Have you done it? Are you still doing it? I think most of us are. But for most of us, it doesn't seem to be working very well right now. For one thing, we don't always realize exactly what we want, and maybe that's why you're here with me today. You know you're supposed to be doing something important, you just don't entirely know what it is. And for another thing, I think this is kind of a big thing, we can't always see things clearly. We may have an inkling of how we'd like to see our life go, but we really have no idea how to get there. And the world is changing so fast that we don't always know what's coming around the corner. So allow me to let you in on something pretty important. We're actually entering into a new paradigm. This is part of our awakening. This is part of the 5D ascension. It may feel a little scary, but it's also absolutely phenomenal. In the new paradigm, we'll no longer be deciding exactly what our future will look like, planning it out and then working on it step by step, hoping that someday we arrive at some preconceived destination. In the new paradigm, we'll have a general idea of where we want to go and then learn what the steps are along the way. This is called the new know as you go plan. If that terrifies you, don't let it. You see, we little earth humans have a very limited view on how life works and what our possibilities are. We just can't see very far in these puny little earth suits. And we can't always guess what's out there. But we do have a magical missing piece that's time to call in. We have a higher self, a soul that can see beyond what we can see. You can also call it your inner being, your internal guidance system, or even your God self, if that's what you prefer. This is the part of you that lives beyond your puny little earth self. It has a bird's eye view of the path that will bring you the most happiness. So the old paradigm is kind of like plotting your course on a map and then watching out for the next turn and then the next turn as you navigate the entire course and finally arrive at your destination. But the new paradigm is more like plugging an ideal experience into your self-driving car, getting in, thoroughly enjoying what you see along the way, and then arriving at the best possible place for your personal needs. It's pretty cool. And we'll be going over how this is possible over the next weeks and months. So, in a way, this podcast is just like the new paradigm. New things will appear depending on your needs and how the Spirit guides us. There will be changes, additions, and maybe some twists and turns. But if all goes well, we'll end up exactly where we need to be and have a darn good time getting there. So before we say goodbye, I want to let you know that I've prepared some worksheets for you to download and use that will help you begin to uncover your passions, purpose, and possibilities. They're absolutely free, no obligation on your part. They're from the course I mentioned I was teaching earlier, and I think they're going to be a great help to you as you discover more about who you are as a 5D being. You can download them at www.awakenyourmission.com. That's awakenyourmission.com. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Thank you for being you, and thank you for shining your light. I believe that together we will uncover the wonders of our 5D missions and contribute to the ascension of the consciousness of this planet. So let's begin this journey with love, compassion, and a deep sense of purpose. See you next time.